Today we're talking about something that has fascinated humans since, well, basically forever, and that is crystals. We're unlocking the mystery behind these magical minerals and how they can transform your spiritual practice. Hey friend, welcome back to The Media Matters, the coven for the curious. I'm your host Chantel, and today we're getting into what crystals actually are, why they are so freaking important in magical and spiritual practices, how to start your own crystal collection, and practical ways to incorporate them into your everyday life. Plus, I will share some super simple cleansing rituals that you can try at home, no previous experience necessary. So get comfy and let's get crystal clear about these beautiful magical minerals. I still remember the first time I went to a metaphysical shop on the hunt for crystals. Let's just say things didn't go exactly as expected. So picture this. It's like 100 years ago. I'm this little baby Reiki practitioner. I had just gone through level 1 and my obsession with crystals was next level. So one day after work, I decide I'm going to detour and head to this little metaphysical shop that I had been super curious about for like the longest time. So I left work. I drove to the shop feeling so excited about all the fun I was about to have and all the crystals my bank account would permit me to buy. So as I drove, I went through my protection steps that I had just learned. I grounded myself. I got there. I parked. I walked toward the shop, placed my hand on the door handle, and in I went. As soon as I walked in, I thought I was going to fall over. This like swirl of energy hit me. It's the only way I can describe it. It's like I was moving and everything was moving, but I wasn't moving, but things were moving. So I hear people talking across the way, like across the shop. And I know, whatever's happening right here is solely happening to me. This is an experience that is exclusive to me. So I see across the room, there's a table and every chair at this table is free. So I'm like, you know what? Let me oh so carefully make my way over there and just sit down because I don't know what is happening, but something's not right. And I don't want to fall over here and cause a scene. How freaking embarrassing. So I head over to this table. I sit down and I just have my hands. I am like hands on the tabletop, feet firm on the ground because I am really trying to regroup. So I'm going through my steps. I am re-protecting myself, just putting up my big bubble of protection. I am grounding, just really trying to center, connect my chakras and all the things. I don't know how long I sat there, but it was quite a while. I eventually felt better. And so I got up very carefully and started walking around, and still occasionally I have these little waves of just like energy swirls. And I was just like, what the heck is going on? I had no idea what was happening, but I did suspect that it had everything to do with not knowing how to control my own energy or properly protect myself. So what the heck was I there for? Ah, yes, crystals. Let's talk crystals. So let's start with the basics. What exactly are crystals? Let's start here. From a scientific perspective, right? Crystals are really just solid materials whose atoms are arranged in a highly ordered microscopic structure. That's why they form those gorgeous geometric shapes and they have all those dazzling surfaces, right? The flat surfaces, the curved surfaces. Each crystal has its own unique atomic arrangement, which is why they look and feel so different from one another. But when we talk about crystals in a spiritual context, we're really recognizing something that goes beyond their physical properties, right? Throughout human history, across virtually every single culture, crystals have been revered as these powerful tools for healing, for protection, and for spiritual connection. We're talking from ancient Egyptian burial chambers to Tibetan meditation practices. These beautiful stones have been constant companions in humanity's spiritual journey. So why are they so important in magical and spiritual work? Well, a lot of practitioners really believe that crystals act as energy conductors. They can absorb, they can store, they can amplify, and they can transmit energy. I like to think of them as nature's batteries or energy flash drives. Just like your phone stores information and energy, crystals can hold energetic imprints and intentions. It's kind of like how your favorite mug somehow makes your coffee taste way better than any other cup. Scientifically, it shouldn't matter, right? But we know that it does. There's an energy, a connection there that really transforms the experience. Crystals work in a similar way, but with a much stronger energetic footprint. And that's what makes crystals such powerful allies in spiritual practice. They're like having a tangible piece of the universe's energy that you can hold in your hands, program with your intentions, and carry with you wherever you go. They're pretty amazing when you think about it, right? Now, if you're feeling a bit skeptical, that's totally okay. The beauty of working with crystals is that you don't need to fully understand or believe in their metaphysical properties to really benefit from them. Sometimes just having a beautiful object that reminds you of your intentions can be so incredibly transformative. It's like wearing your lucky shirt to a job interview or a date. Even if it's just psychological, that confidence boost is real and it's valuable. So when we work with crystals, we're essentially tapping into Earth's oldest technology. These stones have been forming within our planet for millions of years, absorbing the energetic imprint of the Earth itself. They're like little hard drives that have been downloading Earth's wisdom since before humans even existed. And when we connect with crystals, we're accessing that ancient data in a way that's both tangible and mysterious. Think of it this way. If you could hold a piece of technology that had been recording and storing energy since dinosaurs roamed the Earth, wouldn't you be curious about that information? That's essentially what you're doing when you're working with crystals in spiritual practice. So, you're convinced to start your crystal journey, or at least crystal curious enough to dip your toes in the mineral waters, right? Where do you begin? Well, let me walk you through what I like to call the Fantastic Five, the essential first crystals for any collection. So first up, we have clear quartz, often called universal crystal. If you only ever get one crystal, make it clear quartz, because this is like that super adaptable friend who's good at everything. It can amplify energy, enhance other crystals, store information, and basically works for any intention you set. I think of clear quartz as like the Swiss Army knife of the crystal world. Incredibly versatile and always useful. Next up is amethyst, that gorgeous purple crystal that is all about protection and spiritual awareness. Amethyst is particularly helpful for enhancing intuition and connecting to your higher self. It's also known for its calming properties, making it perfect for meditation or dealing with stress. Amethyst is like a spiritual bodyguard that also happens to be a meditation coach, protection, and wisdom in one beautiful package. Then there's rose quartz, the gentle pink stone of unconditional love. This crystal specializes in heart healing, self-love, and compassion. Rose quartz is one of those beautiful pieces that reminds us to be kind to ourselves and to others. Think of rose quartz as a warm hug in crystal form, soothing, supportive, and reminding you that you are worthy of love exactly as you are. Fourth on our list is black tourmaline, the ultimate protection stone. This crystal excels at absorbing and transmuting negative energy, creating energetic boundaries, and keeping you grounded. Black tourmaline is like your spiritual bouncer, standing at the door of your energy field and deciding what gets in and what the heck doesn't. Finally, we have selenite, a luminous white crystal that's all about cleansing and charging other crystals. Selenite has this remarkable ability to really clear energy blockages, and it can even charge your other crystals when they're placed on top of it. It's like having a spiritual cleaning service and power station all in one. What I love about starting with these 5 beautiful crystals is that they work beautifully together while covering all of your basic spiritual needs, your amplification, protection, love, grounding, and cleansing. It's like having a really well-balanced spiritual team where each member brings their special skills to the table. So now that you know which crystals to start with, let's talk about how to actually work with them. The relationship between you and your crystals is interactive. They're tools that respond to your energy and your intentions, not magical objects that do all the work for you. It is a partnership, my love. The first step in crystal practice is cleansing. Crystals absorb a lot of energy from their environment, including from the mining process, shipping, the store they were in, and anyone who handled them before you came along. Before you start working with a new crystal, you're going to want to reset it by clearing away any residual energy. There are a few different ways to cleanse your crystals. One of my favorites is moonlight bathing, especially during a full moon. The process is beautifully simple. You really just place your crystals on a windowsill or outside where they can be bathed in that beautiful moonlight. But word of caution here, some crystals don't do well in moisture. So if your environment is humid or it's raining outside or the sprinklers are going to come on before you have time to get up and get your crystals back inside, then please do not put them outdoors. Please. Word of caution. All of that said, there is something super special and magical about knowing your crystals are being cleansed by the same light that humans have gazed upon for thousands of years. Another cleansing method is smoke. Using sacred herbs like sage, palo santo, or even lavender. All you have to do is really just pass your crystals through the smoke with the intention of clearing any stagnant energy. The smoke really acts as an energetic cleanser, and it carries away what no longer serves the crystal's highest purpose. Sound cleansing is another wonderful, fantastic option. This would be using bells, singing bowls, or even your own voice to create vibrations that dislodge stuck energy. It's like giving your crystals a sound bath that shakes loose any energetic dust that they've collected along the way. Some crystals can also be cleansed with salt. So you could do this by either burying them in sea salt or creating a salt bowl where they can rest. The salt really acts as an energetic sponge and it absorbs any unwanted energies. Just be careful with this method because some crystals are soft and they could be damaged by the salt. Some crystals can be cleansed with water, ideally natural sources like streams or rainfall, but your tap will work just fine too. Water really is just symbolically linked with purification in virtually every spiritual tradition, which makes it a powerful cleansing tool. But important warning here, not all crystals can get wet. Some, like selenite, can actually dissolve. So please always check if your specific crystal is water safe before giving it a little bath. So let's talk about a really simple crystal cleansing ritual that you can try at home. This one is perfect for beginners and requires very minimal supplies. For this ritual, you're going to need a crystal. Any of the Fantastic 5 work perfectly here. One white candle, and a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Go ahead and light your candle and take 3 deep cleansing centering breaths. Hold your crystal in your non-dominant hand and visualize the flame of the candle beginning to glow brighter, emanating a pure white light. In your mind's eye, see this white light extending from the candle to surround your crystal completely. Visualize the light really penetrating the crystal, illuminating it from within and dissolving any stagnant or unwanted energy. As the light fills your crystal, set your intention for its cleansing by saying something like, I cleanse this crystal of all energies that no longer serve its highest purpose. It is now clear, pure, and ready to work with me. Something along those lines. Hold this visualization for as long as feels right to you. Even 30 seconds of focus intention is super powerful. When you feel complete, thank the crystal for its partnership in your spiritual journey. So this simple ritual really combines several powerful elements: the cleansing properties of fire, the focus of visualization, and the clarity of spoken intention. This is perfect for regular maintenance of your crystals between those deeper cleansing sessions. We have full rituals and even more crystal magic in the companion blog post, so make sure that you check it out via the link in the show notes. Once your crystals are cleansed, that's when the real magic begins. These freshly reset stones are now ready to partner with you in your spiritual practice, holding space for your intentions and amplifying your natural energies. It's like the difference between trying to have a heart-to-heart conversation in a super noisy restaurant versus a quiet garden with cleansed crystals that create this beautiful, perfect environment. So after cleansing, a lot of practitioners choose to program their crystals with specific intentions. This essentially is the process of imprinting your crystal with a particular purpose or energy. Let's talk about programming your crystals, which to me is a special and personal ritual that really creates a bond between you and your stone. The simplest method involves holding your crystal in your dominant hand, which for me is my right hand, closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths, and clearly visualizing your intention flowing from your body into your crystal, which is in your dominant hand. You might visualize this as colored light, flowing water, or really whatever imagery resonates with you. The complete ritual involves specific breathing techniques and a special way of sealing your intention. You can also program crystals through meditation by holding or placing them on your body while you're focusing on your intention. Some people prefer to vocalize their intentions, speaking directly to their crystals. Listen, there is no wrong way to do this. What really matters most is your focus and clarity of intention. That word is coming up a lot today. Think of programming a crystal like saving a file on your computer. Your intention is the data. The crystal is the storage device. The clearer and more specific your intention, the more effectively your crystals can run that program for you. So once you've cleansed and programmed your crystals, now it's time to talk about proper storage and care because they are important. While crystals are literally rocks, their energetic properties can be affected by how you store them. Ideally, in a perfect world, each crystal should have its own space, either wrapped in natural fabric like silk or stored in individual boxes or pouches, The purpose is that this prevents their energies from mixing too much. It prevents them from getting scratched and whatever. Some crystals like amethyst can fade in direct sunlight, so storing them away from windows is best. Other crystals like selenite can scratch easily and should be handled with care. I will tell you, I don't worry too much about their energies mixing or someone getting scratched. I have 3 or 4 large storage drawers full of crystals, and then I have like a wooden bowl with more crystals placed around my house, crystals on my nightstand, crystals in my pockets, you name it. I am really careful with every single crystal I have and handle every one with heaps of care and respect. But I will tell you, before I work with any crystal, I cleanse it, I set my intention, and that's that. Remember that crystals are tools for spiritual practice, not just pretty decorations, although they are definitely that too. The way you store and handle them really reflects and affects your relationship with them. Treat them with intention and respect, and they will be much more effective partners in your spiritual work. I promise you. There's something we haven't talked about yet, and that's karma. Did you know that you can pretty much lock in supreme karma just by subscribing to the podcast? You see, I am full of magical tips. If you're enjoying this episode and you want even more magical goodies, then make sure to give this a thumbs up, subscribe, and click that notification bell because all of that really supports the show and, well, supreme karma, Let's move things right along and talk about some practical ways to incorporate crystals into your beautiful everyday life. Because, let's be honest, most of us aren't professional mystics with hours to devote to elaborate crystal rituals every day, right? We need simple, practical ways to bring crystal energy into our busy modern lives. One of my favorite methods is to create crystal-infused water. Not by putting crystals directly in your drinking water because some crystals contain harmful elements that can leach right into your water, but by placing water in a glass container and surrounding it with crystals. This method is completely safe and allows the water to absorb the vibrational energy of the crystals. It would be great to start the morning with a glass of rose quartz infused water to really set the tone for your day. Another easy practice is just carrying a stone. For this, just choose a small crystal that resonates with you and your need for the day. Maybe black tourmaline for protection during a challenging meeting or citrine for confidence during a presentation. Just slip it in your little pocket and touch it throughout the day when you need a little energetic boost. It's like having a tiny secret spiritual ally with you at all times. If you spend a lot of time at a desk, you could create a mini crystal grid around your workspace that can be so transformative. Think clear quartz to maintain focus, amethyst to boost your creativity, and a small piece of black tourmaline to absorb some of that EMF radiation. Crystals can also enhance your self-care routines. You could try placing rose quartz or amethyst around your bathtub during a soak, or hold a piece of blue lace agate during meditation to deepen your practice. You could even place a small piece of selenite on your pillow during the day and set the intention of creating a peaceful sleep energy for the night ahead. How cool is that? If you wear jewelry, crystal jewelry is probably the most seamless way to bring these beautiful minerals into your daily life. A rose quartz pendant over your heart, tiger's eye beads as a bracelet, or even small crystal earrings can provide sustained energetic support throughout your day while looking beautiful. It is style and spirit working together. Even if you're not comfortable having visible crystals at work or in certain settings, you can always place them in spaces you frequent. A small clear quartz in your car's glove compartment, a piece of black tourmaline by your front door for protection, or even a small amethyst tucked into your purse or your backpack. The beauty of crystal work is its flexibility. You can make it as simple or as elaborate as suits your lifestyle. Even just taking a minute every single morning to hold a crystal and set an intention for your day can be so beautiful and powerful. It's not about transforming your entire life overnight. It's about those small, consistent moments of connection that gradually shift your energy over time. Let's talk about some questions that I hear most frequently about crystal work. There are a lot of things that beginners wonder about, but might be afraid to ask. So let's address some of those here. Our first question is, can I use crystals if I'm not spiritual? Absolutely, heck yes. So while crystals have deep spiritual associations, you don't need to identify as spiritual to benefit from them. A lot of people use crystals for their beauty alone, as focus objects during meditation, or as simple reminders of their goals and intentions. Crystals don't check your spiritual credentials before working with you. They just don't. It's like listening to gospel music without being religious. You can still absolutely appreciate and benefit from the beauty, the emotion, and the intention behind this beautiful music, even if you don't share the specific belief system that it came from. Another common question is, how do I know if a crystal is working? This is tricky because the effects of crystal work can be super subtle. Some people feel immediate physical sensations like warmth or tingling or even subtle vibrations when they hold certain crystals. Others notice changes in their mood, energy levels, or thought patterns over time. But sometimes the effects are so gradual that you don't notice them until you look back and realize something has shifted. It's like watching a plant grow. You don't see the movement happening, but eventually you notice, that plant is taller than it was before. Yes, magic. If you're not sure if your crystal is working, try this. Set an intention with your crystal and keep notes in a journal about relevant experiences over a few weeks' time. Looking back at these notes often reveals patterns and changes you might have missed in the regular day-to-day. The next question I hear a lot is, can crystals have negative energy? Well, while crystals themselves aren't inherently negative, they can sometimes amplify or bring to the surface energies or emotions that might need some attention. For example, a crystal that promotes truth-telling might make you more aware of situations where you've been less than honest with yourself. So I remember one day I felt like carrying a crystal around with me for whatever reason. So I went into my stash and felt around until the right crystal made herself known to me, right? So I take the crystal, I put it in my pocket, and go about my morning. Out of nowhere, I notice the dumbest things are annoying me. And I do mean the dumbest. Then it's no longer annoyance, but full on eye rolling. I mean, where did this come from? Suddenly, I am aware of my emotions and how quickly my mood has shifted. And I stand there and I'm trying to figure out what the hell has happened. And then it hits me, the crystal. Now, I cannot begin to tell you which crystal I was carrying around, but I can tell you that I took that little baby right out of my pocket and I put her saucy self right on the windowsill to cleanse in the sunshine and to think about what she had done. When this happened, I wasn't quite sure what to make of it. Did I cleanse it properly? Did I cleanse it at all? Did I forget to protect myself? Did I forget to set intentions? Sing out loud with my eyes closed? Honestly, it was some of those things, maybe all of those things, silly as it sounds, but this is energy at work. This isn't a story about scary or negative crystals. It's an experience with energy at work. The crystal I put in my pocket wasn't trying to ruin my day or start a fight. It was bringing something forward that I no longer needed to hold onto. On this day, it was feelings I had been bottling up about work. I just kept putting one foot in front of the other and pushing things aside or down until I had time to deal with them. And apparently the universe decided that that was the day. And well, you know how the rest of that story goes. So if you ever find yourself feeling uncomfortable after beginning work with a specific crystal, just remember that it might be bringing something up that needs your attention. Another question I get a lot is, how do I choose the right crystal for me? Now, you have my Fantastic Five as a starting point, but the truth is that the right crystal really varies from person to person and situation to situation. A lot of practitioners believe that the crystals that attract you visually or physically, you can't stop looking at them and you want to hold them forever. Those are the ones that you often need the most energetically. One beautiful way to choose a crystal is through an intuitive choosing ritual. You could visit a shop where you can physically interact with the crystals, center yourself with a few deep breaths, and then move your non-dominant hand slowly over the crystals without touching them. You don't want to make contact. Make sure you pay attention to any sensations you get in that hand. It could be warmth, tingling, pulsing, or just a strong attraction. These sensations can really guide you to the crystal that's right for you in that moment. Think of it like making a new friend. Sometimes there's just this natural click between you and another person that just defies logical explanation. Your relationship with your crystals can work pretty much the same way. Our last question is, do synthetic or lab-grown crystals work the same as natural ones? And hot topic alert. So some practitioners really believe that only naturally formed crystals have the full spectrum of metaphysical properties because they have absorbed Earth's energy over millions of years. And I get it, right? Other people say that lab-grown crystals have the same molecular structure as the natural guys, and they can be programmed with intentions just as effectively. Listen, if you're asking, which obviously you are, I believe both can be effective. With natural crystals perhaps having a head start due to their time in the earth, but the lab-grown guys, they catch up pretty quickly once you program them. It's like comparing wild-grown versus cultivated herbs. Both have their place and their strengths. What really matters most isn't whether your crystal came from a mountain or a lab, but it's really about the relationship that you have with it. The most powerful element in crystal work isn't the crystal itself, it is you. Your intentions, your energy, your consistent practice, your willingness to be open to those subtle shifts and awareness. The crystal is your ally in this work, but the true source of the magic, well, that's you. As we come to the end of today's crystal journey, I want to leave you with a few key takeaways. First, crystals are amazing tools for focusing and amplifying your own innate energies and intentions. They're partners in your spiritual work, not magical solutions that do all the work for you. Second, start simple. The 5 crystals we talked about today, clear quartz, amethyst, rose quartz, black tourmaline, and selenite, provide a perfect foundation for any crystal practice. Third, consistency matters more than complexity. A simple daily practice of holding your crystal with clear intention is going to yield far more results than something super elaborate that you end up performing once in a while. Finally, trust your intuition. The right way to work with crystals is the way that feels right to you. While traditions and guidelines are super helpful and great starting points, your unique relationship with your crystals will evolve in its own beautiful way. Remember that humans have been working with crystals for thousands of years across countless cultures and spiritual traditions. When you hold a crystal with intention, you're connecting to an ancient practice that transcends time and space. There is something so profoundly comforting about that connection, right? Get your hands on at least one of the crystals from our Fantastic Five and start building your relationship with it. You will not regret it, I promise. For the complete crystal cleansing rituals and more resources mentioned in today's episode, make sure you check out the show's notes and the companion blog post. Thank you so much for hanging with me today. Until next time, this is Chantel with The Media Matters, reminding you to stay curious, stay magical, and remember, the most powerful ingredient in any spiritual practice is you, my beautiful friend. See you next time.